The Saiga antelope or Saiga tatarica is a critically endangered antelope which during antiquity inhabited a vast area of the Eurasian steppe spanning the foothills of the Carpathian Mountains in the northwest and Caucasus in the southwest into Mongolia in the northeast and Tungaria in the southeast. During the Pleistocene, they also occurred in Beringian North America and the British Isles. Today, the dominant subspecies is only found in one region in Russia in the Republic of Kalmykia and Astrakhan Oblast and 3 areas in Kazakhstan, the Ural, Ustyurt, and Vitpark-Dala populations. A portion of the Ustyurt population migrates south to Uzbekistan and occasionally Turkmenistan in winter. It is extinct in China and southwestern Mongolia. It was hunted extensively in Romania and Moldova until it became extinct in those regions at the end of the 18th century. The Mongolian subspecies T. mongolica is found only in western Mongolia. Saiga antelope are large migratory herbivores living in the dry steppe grasslands and semi-arid deserts of Central Asia. They were once abundant, roaming alongside mammoths and saber-toothed tigers over vast landscapes spanning from the British Isles to Alaska. Surviving harsh and changing environmental conditions for millions of years, saiga populations are in significant decline due to increased poaching for meat, poaching of males for their horns used in traditional Asian medicine, and natural threats such as disease and environmental change. They are also of cultural and historical significance for the people of Central Asia, as a symbol of the traditional nomadic lifestyle. 1. Evolution. Fossils of saiga, concentrated mainly in Central and Northern Eurasia, date to as early as the late Pleistocene, nearly 0.1 Maya. An extinct species of saiga, S. borealis, has been identified from the Pleistocene of Northern Eurasia. Fossils excavated from the Buran-Kaya III site Crimea date back to the transition from Pleistocene to Holocene. The morphology of saiga does not seem to have changed significantly since prehistoric times. Before the Holocene, the saiga ranged from as far west as modern-day England and France to as far east as northern Siberia, Alaska, and probably Canada. The antelope gradually entered the Urals, though it did not colonize southern Europe. A 2010 study revealed that a steep decline has occurred in the genetic variability of the saiga since the late Pleistocene-Holocene, probably due to a population bottleneck. The saiga antelope has evolved to be perfectly adapted to its life in the steppe and semi-arid desert of Central Asia and Russia. It is a relic of Ice Age fauna that included mammoths and saber-toothed cats. Herds of saiga once numbered in the millions, but today only 160,000 survive. 2. Characteristics. The saiga stands 61 to 81 centimeters 24 to 32 in at the shoulder, and weighs 26 to 69 kilograms 57 to 152 pounds. The head and body length is typically between 100 and 140 centimeters 39 and 55 inches. A prominent feature of the saiga is the pair of closely spaced, bloated nostrils directed downward. Other facial features include the dark markings on the cheeks and the nose, and the 7 to 12 centimeters long ears. During summer migrations, a saiga's nose helps filter out dust kicked up by the herd and cools the animal's blood. In the winter, it heats up the frigid air before it is taken to the lungs. The coat shows seasonal changes. In summer, the coat appears yellow to red, fading toward the flanks. The Mongolian saiga can develop a sandy color. The coat develops a pale, grayish-brown color in winter, with a hint of brown on the belly and the neck. The ventral parts are generally white. The hairs, that measure 18 to 30 millimeters long in summer, can grow as long as 40 to 70 millimeters in winter. This forms a 12 to 15 centimeter long mane on the neck. 2 distinct molts can be observed in a year, one in spring April to May and another in autumn late September or early October to late November or early December. The tail measures 6 to 12 centimeters. Only males possess horns. These horns, thick and slightly translucent, are wax-colored and show 12 to 20 pronounced rings. With a base diameter of 25 to 33 millimeters, the horns of the Russian saiga measure 28 to 38 centimeters in length. The horns of the Mongolian saiga, however, reach a maximum length of 22 centimeters. 3. Ecology and behavior. Saigas form very large herds that graze in semi-deserts, steppes, grasslands, and possibly open woodlands, eating several species of plants, including some that are poisonous to other animals. They can cover long distances and swim across rivers, but they avoid steep or rugged areas. The mating season starts in November, when stags fight for the acceptance of females. The winner leads a herd of 5 to 50 females. In springtime, mothers come together in mass to give birth. 2/3 of births are twins, the remaining third of births are single calves. Saigas, like the Mongolian gazelles, are known for their extensive migrations across the steppes that allow them to escape natural calamities. Saigas are highly vulnerable to wolves. Juveniles are targeted by foxes, steppe eagles, golden eagles, dogs, and ravens. 4. Distribution and habitat. During the last glacial period, the saigas ranged from the British Isles through Central Asia, and the Bering Strait into Alaska and Canada's Yukon and Northwest Territories. By the Classical Age, they were apparently considered a characteristic animal of Scythia, judging from the historian Strabo's description of an animal called the kolos that was between the deer and ram in size and was understandably but wrongly believed to drink through its nose. Considerable evidence shows the importance of the antelope to Andronovo culture settlements. Illustrations of Saiga antelopes can be found among the cave paintings that were dated back to 7th to 5th century BC. Moreover, Saiga bones were found among the remains of other wild animals near the human settlements. 5. From the 14th to the 20th century. The fragmented information shows an abundance of saigas on the territory of modern Kazakhstan in the 14th–16th centuries. The migratory routes ranged throughout the country's area, especially the region between the Volga and Ural rivers was heavily populated. Henryk Sienkiewicz mentions saiga herds in the wild fields of Ukraine in his epic With Fire and Sword, which was set in 1647. The population's size remained high until the second half of the 19th century, when excessive horn export began. The high price and demand for horns drove radical hunting. The number of animals decreased in all regions and the migratory routes shifted southward. After a rapid decline, they were nearly completely exterminated in the 1920s, but they were able to recover. By 1950, 2 million of them were found in the steppes of the USSR. Their population fell drastically following the collapse of the USSR due to uncontrolled hunting and demand for horns in Chinese medicine. At one point, some conservation groups, such as the World Wildlife Fund, encouraged the hunting of this species, as its horn was presented as an alternative to that of a rhinoceros. 6. The present population declines. Today, the populations have again shrunk enormously, as much as 95% in 15 years. The saiga is classified as critically endangered by the Yukon. An estimated total number of 50,000 saigas survives today in Kalmykia, 3 areas of Kazakhstan, and in 2 isolated areas of Mongolia. Another small population in the pre-Caspian region of Russia remains under extreme threat. Cherny Zemly Nature Reserve was created in Russia's Kalmykia Republic in the 1990s to protect the local saiga population. Kalmykia's President Kirsan Ilyumshinov announced 2010 as the year of saiga in Kalmykia. In Kazakhstan, the number of saigas was found to be increasing, from around 21,000 at the beginning of this millennium to around 81,000 in January 2010. However, in May 2010, an estimated 12,000 of the 26,000 saiga population in the Ural region of Kazakhstan have been found dead. Although the deaths are currently being ascribed to pasteurellosis, an infectious disease that strikes the lungs and intestines, the underlying trigger remains to be identified.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like. Leave a comment on what would you like to see next. And don't forget to subscribe. Animal Facts 101.